Crime that's making vast profits out of cannabis. Copenhagen has become a battleground between bikers and rival gangs fighting for supremacy in a market that's worth 150 million euros a year. Now, Copenhagen City Council has come up with a radical proposal to try to undermine the gangs by growing and selling its own dope. Malcolm Brambant reports.
Cutter Mercury is soon to start a 3-month jail sentence for running an Amsterdam-style cafe where cannabis was available.
I think the prohibition of cannabis in Denmark is insane. They should legalize it for recreational use, and they should allow doctors to prescribe it as medicine for those users. And they should let private companies, Danish companies, seek a permission to produce and distribute cannabis under circumstances that are controlled and regulated.
Christian is working in the shadows of the lucrative cannabis trade and would also welcome a change in the law that would legitimize his business, growing and selling marijuana for medical purposes. If Copenhagen City Council gets its way, marijuana production will come out of the dark and the drug will be grown openly in municipal-run greenhouses.
We want to make it legal to sell marijuana from the pharmacy, and it's because we have a gang war about the drug market, and it's important to us to take it away from the criminals.
How concerned are you about the gang wars of Copenhagen?
We're very concerned. During the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen the worst shootings since the Second World War. So, of course, it's a huge problem for us in Copenhagen.
This parade shows the strength of a group alleged to be the major player in the illegal cannabis market. The Hells Angels insist they're nothing more sinister than motorcycle enthusiasts. But the Danish authorities are convinced they represent one of the most dangerous criminal elements of a nation renowned internationally for its law-abiding, happy and safe society. The Angels turned out in their hundreds for the funeral of Michael Brockside, a leader who'd served time for murder. He hanged himself in police custody after being arrested with 80 other people in a series of raids which led to the confiscation of more than €1 million in cash, plus gold and drugs worth at least 6 million.
There's an absolute need to think out of the box because the war on crime has been quite unsuccessful, as anyone would admit if you look at the facts. So this new proposal could actually both reduce organized crime because you take funds away from very violent gangs and respect individual freedom because a lot of ordinary people actually do want to use recreational drugs.
The plan by the Social Democrats who run Copenhagen City Hall is a response to public opinion polls, which consistently show that Danes are in favour of decriminalising marijuana. But much to the relief of Conservative opponents, it's being blocked by the Social Democrat-led government.
I don't think it's a job for the municipality to grow drugs and sell them to the citizens. Drugs are harmful, and we shouldn't encourage more use of drugs in Copenhagen.
Back at the illegal cannabis farm, Christian is a critic of the city council, or kommune, because, as the proposals currently stand, he would not be able to operate legitimately.
This will only make the criminal market grow maybe even more. And it will only make it so there will be one more pusher in Denmark, and that will be the Copenhagen Kommune.
After nationwide raids earlier this spring, 80 people remain in custody while the investigation continues. The police believe they've significantly disrupted the activities of the drug gangs, but realistically it appears they've only won a skirmish, not the war. The government is desperate to crack down on the gangs who control the drug scene. It's just about to introduce some new legislation which is designed to convince gangsters to give up their lives of crime. Under this new law, convicted gang members who continue to hang out with their former associates will have their parole rescinded and they'll be given tougher prison sentences. Although the council is being blocked at the moment, it believes its plans to liberalise cannabis will come to fruition eventually. The concern of civic leaders following the death of Michael Brockside is that the Hells Angels rivals will now try to muscle in on territory and market share and will reignite the cycle of violence.
Time now for a look at sports with all the latest in football.